In this video, I'm taking a look at how the dire situation for LGBTers in Nigeria can be improved. Let's get started. Human Rights Watch has given various parties recommendations on how the situation for LGBTers in Nigeria can be improved. They've given recommendations to the Nigerian government, the Nigerian police force, the Nigerian Ministry of Police Affairs, the Nigerian Federal Ministry of Health, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, the National Human Rights Commission, and to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. So what exactly does Human Rights Watch feel all of them should do to improve life for LGBTers in Nigeria? Let's find out. What are some of the recommendations to the Nigerian government? Firstly, Human Rights Watch recommends the government reviews the Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Act from 2014 with a view to creating an enabling environment for LGBT individuals, human rights defenders, and organizations to exercise their constitutional rights to freedom of association and expression. Secondly, Human Rights Watch recommends the government acts with due diligence to protect LGBT individuals against human rights abuses, including by effectively implementing all appropriate laws, including the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act from 2015, in order to prohibit and punish all forms of violence, including violence and human rights abuses committed on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. Thirdly, Human Rights Watch recommends the government investigates all claims of extortion, arbitrary arrests and detention, torture, and inhuman treatment by police officers and prosecute those responsible for human rights abuses against LGBT people. Finally, Human Rights Watch recommends the Nigerian government publicly condemns all acts of violence, including mob attacks, committed by state and non-state actors on the basis of real or perceived sexual orientation and gender identity. What was a recommendation to the Nigerian police force? Human Rights Watch recommends the Nigerian police force issues clear directives to commissioners of police and other senior police officers to ensure that the police do not engage in extortion, bribe-taking, and other corrupt acts on the basis of the SSMPA against LGBT individuals and other people. What did Human Rights Watch recommend the Nigerian Ministry of Police Affairs to do? Among other recommendations, the Nigerian Ministry of Police Affairs should investigate in a prompt and thorough manner all law enforcement officials implicated in arbitrary arrests, extortion, torture and detention, and other human rights abuses of people on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. What was a recommendation to the Nigerian Federal Ministry of Health? The Nigerian Federal Ministry of Health should ensure the effective implementation of and compliance with the HIV/AIDS Anti-Discrimination Act from 2014 that makes it illegal to discriminate against people based on their HIV status. What was a recommendation to the National Agency for the Control of AIDS? The National Agency for the Control of AIDS should conduct an independent nationwide study to assess the impact of the SSMPA, particularly on the health-seeking behavior of gay men and men having sex with men since January 2014. What was a recommendation to the National Human Rights Commission? Human Rights Watch recommends the National Human Rights Commission acts in accordance with its mandates to act as a source of human rights information for the government and the public, to raise awareness about the human rights impact of the SSMPA, and to receive and investigate complaints from LGBT individuals alleging human rights abuses committed against them. What was the recommendation to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights? Human Rights Watch recommends the Commission ensures the Nigerian government's compliance with obligations set out in the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and that it ensures that the Nigerian government offers protection against violence and other human rights violations against people on the basis of their real or imputed sexual orientation or gender identity. Finally, I, as an educator, personally believe that schools can do a lot. Through education, you can teach students that no one chooses their own sexuality or gender identity. We do not suddenly decide to become lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, pansexual, etc. We have no say in the matter of our own sexuality, and if it was up to me, schools in Nigeria would teach that to their students. And is the Nigerian culture truly the Nigerian culture? Hear me out. Discrimination against LGBTers in Nigeria comes from the colonial era. And whatever some people say, this kind of discrimination was not originally part of African culture. For instance, Cardinal Robert Sarah was simply wrong about homosexuality and Africa when he said that homophobia is part of the African culture, when in fact, anti-homosexuality was a colonial thing brought to Africa by European colonists. Peru-African culture wasn't that homophobic at all. So that's also something I believe should be acknowledged, together with the fact that since we don't turn out LGBT by choice, Nigerians, and a lot more people too, should realize there is no shame in being LGBT. Bam! This information came from this website. You'll find this link below this video. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and watch this series from the start. Next Friday, I'll be back with a new video in my series on cognitive abilities. Till then, I only want to say 3 things. Thank you for watching, take care, and bye for now.